Hello everybody and welcome to our third casted game of the night. We're recording them all out one at a time, and spawning in on the southeast of the map we have Somero playing as Thor.
And on the northwest side of the map we have Matreiuss playing as Zeus, currently ranked 21 or 27 on the ladder. It is 27 versus 44. So a high-level top 50 matchup. Matreiuss is primarily playing a lot of Zeus these days, but he does dip into other pantheons, and we see Somero being an Odin and Poseidon made, with Thor being his third preferenced god in the pantheon. So we have an interesting matchup here, Matt. I'm excited to see what's in store.
Yeah, and I jested, Jay looked up these players and said he's recently been playing a lot of Thor. That's why I joke that he saw the guide and started playing Thor. I'm guessing that is probably not the case, although the opening, no, we got a Gatherer coming out. So, bit different of an opening here. We're not going strictly dwarfs. The more I think about it, the more I think this is right. You probably don't want to go strictly dwarfs. Probably want to get a couple Gatherers out, but it is fun just doing nothing but dwarfs out there.
Yeah, but you know what? Depending on how this game goes, maybe we decide to send him a little love with the guide to see how it goes out. If he wins the game, maybe he doesn't need it, but if he loses, we'll put that in the expression of the
yeah. But we do see kind of a even though it's a bit different than what I put out in my guide, pretty standard Thor opening, right? We get the Dwarven Armory out early. We get dwarfs produced from it from getting the tech. Went with the Warden's Mail, or sorry, not the Warden's Mail. I'm thinking League of Legends here, guys. Went with the Copper Armor right away to get that tech up. Got the dwarfs out onto wood. So really, actually, when we look at the distribution, it is the same of what I've been doing. You got 5 on gold, you got 3 on wood, and now he's going to go everything out onto food. Big difference is we got 2 gatherers here instead of 2 dwarfs out on the wood, and it looks like he is actually producing dwarfs from here on out, so very similar to what I've been doing on Thor, and I think we'll expect pretty much the same. So let's ride along with Matreiuss here on the north side.
And Matreiuss already got his temple up right now with the standard build order. It looks like he's effectively going to be able to respond to the early Norse aggression. As I like to say, if you age up before the Norse player, you're typically able to put some units out to be able to prevent those early raids, so I like what I'm seeing here.
Yeah, and I feel like the more we've cast, the more we've got comfortable with seeing each of these civs. We can tell they're doing the normal thing, right? We can tell today in this cast they're doing the normal thing for each civ, so let's take a look at the map. We're on Oasis here. We've got our relics, Pelt of Argus. We've got 6 line of sight for our units. Tusk of the Iron Boar. We've got building line. Oh, cavalry hit points. Really good relic. Man, if you get this early on Thor, that's going to do some damage. So I hope he finds that one out. Eye of Horus. We got the town center population cap increased down there. And Blanket of Empress Zoe. Is this buildings? Yeah, buildings were resistant to crush weapons. So decent relics out here. I think this is the premier S tier relic that we have out on the map. Cavalry hit points. Already a high HP unit. An extra 10% is huge for cavalry. So we'll see who actually picks that one up.
It is, and looking at the map when it was in full zoom, it's a pretty standard open map. I wonder how effectively we're going to be able to see Thor conquer or set up a forward base here in the middle. He hasn't done too much scouting just yet, but you see him sending out his first Berserk to be able to start that process. Let's see what he plans to do with his temple, if he's putting it defensive or more offensive, and it looks like it is defensive.
Yeah, and this is something that I kind of mentioned in my Thor guide, and one of the reasons why, and we do see it here actually, the double Berserk. I got some criticism on this, putting out 2 Berserks, but we do see it happening here, and I think it's because that's Thor's weakness, right? With this build order, your Berserk is locked into the base building almost the entire time, and you don't get any scouting unless you get that other Berserk out. So we do see another player going for that a bit later than what I did in my build order, but that second Berserk does seem to be a core part of what Thor players are doing these days.
And we see Matreiuss going into Age 2 pretty quickly here. He got his first tier out on the map to be able to look to see what is out. Let's see if he grabs a relic. The first Centaur is being able to put that first little impression on. Them off the gold mine. He's going to have to see if he's coming back or going to position himself into a different one.
Yeah, going for the berries. I think we might have seen a Dwarven Armory drop, or a Dwarven Mine drop, but since we're not quite in the classical age, you would be missing out on 500 gold, so maybe that's what he's looking for, is if we get more pressure, we might drop that Dwarven Mine, but right now we want to save it until at least we age up to get that extra gold supply from that God Power. I think that makes sense. Just get out into wood, or onto food for a little bit, just gather a little bit of food there, and we'll see if he does. Yep, he is going to cast that mine, so that's exactly what he was looking for. Gonna wait until we get that extra 500 gold in there, and now he's nice and safe, and we do have the troll coming out, the healing springs in the base. Whoa, Hercules going right into the troll.
When we see the troll getting pelted back, but there's Hersa to respond directly towards Hercules' aggression, and with that defensive healing spring, it is not going to be at any cost to Somero. And I have to say, I am not happy about this healing spring right on top of the base. You are the Norse player, you are the aggressor, and to have you put that power in your base defensively shows to me that the Greeks might be able to take a little bit of advantage here.
Yeah, I gotta say, I don't hate it, especially since we did have some poke on the dwarfs, and it looks like he is gonna be on the back end of this fight. We did have our other player Matreiuss age up first, so expecting the aggression, we knew that the centaurs were coming out. Herser getting on the centaur though might go down. Hercules gonna go down here pretty soon, and we've got nothing but cav. So I do see, yep, Herdman coming out to deal with that cav. Great choice to get the Herdman out early, and really nice micro keeping these low health units. To me, this is really difficult in the game because your units are naturally aggressive. They want to fight, and keeping them back at the healing springs is sometimes tough to do, but didn't lose a single military unit there outside of the troll, but we got another skirmish.
We got another effective skirmish. The Centaur bonus goes down upon all of those infantry units right now. We've seen equal line engage right now with a few units dropping on both sides, but it looks like right now that Matreiuss is going to be able to win the fight. He's pushing them back again. He's going to go back to the healing spring, heal up those weak units, bring his fresh ones out to be able to combat them, and those herdmen are effectively in the front line, drawing those cavalry to push back and not aggress anymore.
Yeah, nice micro, and you know, this is the game, Jay. I completely agree with you. I would have liked to see some tower upgrades here. He had the resource. He ended up spending his wood here instead on the Great Hall, but I do think a bit of tower damage actually would have been quite effective inside of the engage, especially since he's pretty much committed to sitting under his town center. Why not get that free population, no population cost damage on the towers? We'll see if he goes for that. Just quick check-in on the tech. We've got additional armory or additional infantry upgrades coming in here. We do see husbandry just came in on the other side for Matreiuss, and Centaur getting caught out. Nice little pick.
Centaur caught, and we see the Centaur go down. That's massive. Unfortunately, he did not look to have any healing ability to get that Centaur back up, and he just got caught lacking.
Yeah.
Caught, and a good unit goes down.
And I like this base building. Look at this nice little defensive structure going up. Just a very small little wall segment there. I feel like, yeah, you can still get through that. So, yeah, putting a house up, getting some walls up. Just going for that defensive build. We haven't checked in with Matreiuss for a bit, so let's see what's going on here. Yeah, some more walls looking to come up. I like this on Oasis in particular. I think Oasis and March are our two ranked pool maps where walling is most effective. Maybe Giza as well. It's pretty good walling map, but I do like this. Oasis. One of the things I love about this map is at the start, you don't know how many tree clusters we're going to have, but the 4 tree clusters does cater the most to walling, so we see both players here recognizing that we can wall up, and look at this. Didn't even notice it, but we've got that second TC that came up. I don't know when this came in, but a lot of goats out in that TC, and we do start to see that villager lead tie up, so he has now matched the bonus dwarfs that we were able to get out based on being Thor. A little bit of skirmish up top, but we've got a dead even villager count right now. I wonder if we're going to see Somero go for a second TC here, or if he's just going to rely on that Dwarven Armory and the upgrades he keeps coming through to play kind of as a pseudo second TC. That's where Thor is really strong. You get a second TC in a way without having to build one, but we will start to see that villager count jump up for Matreiuss.
Yeah, and 2 things to note is I see Greek players, including myself, often prioritizing that second TC before an early age or even more units because it just effectively lets you scale much better into the later game, which is very nice. And the second thing I'll say is in RTS games, you never see buildings effectively become a part of the wall. But one thing I've loved about AOM Retold that we didn't even see in the original game in some cases is that houses, armories, production buildings, whatever it might be, is effectively a part of your wall, and you see both players effectively doing that. It's really unique to see, and it's a great change to what you see in other RTS games such as Age of Empires or any other for that matter.
Yeah, and it is a big difference because Age of Empires 4, which Jay, you and I both played a lot of, climbing up to Diamond, both solo and team games, was a lot of fun. But with the grid system, you can't do this. You can't use buildings as walls. There's plenty of room to slip through with that grid system. I actually do prefer the Age of Mythology way, where you can use the walls, and I like in Retold. One of the problems with doing that inside of the original is the unit collision was just awful in the original AOM. So doing that sometimes hurts yourself because you can't get your units through these choke points, but not as big of a deal in Retold. And we do see Braggy coming through right now, looking for a second TC. It looks like potentially market dropping. I love this as Thor. You're going to be floating a lot of extra gold, and since it's gold, markets can be very efficient for when you need food in a pinch, you need wood in a pinch, you can just use that gold, purchase a couple times. I do like that early on.
Yeah, but you do see effectively, you already see a 10 villager gap between the two players because that first town center came out quite a bit earlier than the second here. So we are going to see Somero be on the back end of having those villager counts early on. Let's see if he's able to catch up throughout the game.
Yeah, and a lot of tech coming through. We do see pretty much every tech available to Thor. Oh, we got a bit of a raid coming in down here, but yeah, we do see Somero pretty much picking up every tech available. It looks like he's gotten every armory upgrade up to the classical age armory upgrades. Nothing in the for the third tier armory upgrades yet, but he's got all of the first two. He's got all of the specific tech that comes through Braggy getting in the way right now. And this Herdman, I mean, this guy's actually going to do quite fine versus 5 Cav. I don't think they could even take this fight with just one. Able to take one down, but we see a big raid. Oh, I just missed this, but big raid coming up
right
top.
Onto the town center, we see the mass go in, but effectively, whether it's villagers or units, they are pushing the Norse back against the northern aggression. Good man Greek always wins. So, oh, and no, I take my words back. We see him effectively cornering inland on the northern side, building an effective forward base to be able to continue the pursuit and aggress on that northern side. The hill fort will be up soon. And let's see if he does more than just secure the gold with this one.
Wow, heavy infantry coming in early too. I like that. He's got an entirely infantry composition. Haven't seen a single raiding cav, which is quite rare because I feel like the raiding cav are really good. But heavy infantry going to be really high value. Bronze shields coming through in as well now. I got that pre-queued, really nice. And I was chuckling a bit there, Jake, because I thought you were about to start talking about Apollo coming through because of how much you hate Curse, but I love Curse. Oh wait, no, Apollo. I'm completely wrong. I'm completely wrong. It's not Curse. We actually have Underworld Passage. I don't think we've casted an Underworld Passage game yet. We'll see how he uses this in this game.
And for all my friends out there that have ever seen a game of me and Matt play, I really value Underworld Passage, especially more on multiplayer games. But even 1v1s, we see them being effectively used to be able to position your production right on your base. No need for a forward base. Move across the map in interesting ways. There's a lot of utility that can be provided, so I'm really curious to see how we're going to see that first come out. And another underrated point is I think Manticores used to be a very weak unit in the first Age of Mythology. However, in this new one, I do think that they are substantially stronger, probably close to a B tier range, and we will do a Myth unit tier list here soon, but they are very effective in going against masses of infantry, so I think they're going to be a great choice in this game.
Yeah, and we do kind of see a pseudo Hades build coming out here, right? Pretty much just Toxtomass. That's what we've got here.
Yeah.
We've got a couple of Hephaestus. I like mixing the Hephaestus in because we're facing pretty much nothing but infantry on the side of Thor right now. We haven't seen any raiding cab. So we got the Toxtos for our DPS. We got the Hephaestus for frontline. And I do like the Manticore. They are quite good in the back line, especially if you get a couple of them, you can really start one-shotting entire armies with those Manticores. So we'll see how this plays out. The one thing that we're lacking here for Matreiuss is any sort of siege. So it's going to be really hard to break through this hill fort until we see siege come up. Archer range, military academy, still no siege coming out quite yet. So we'll have to see what happens.
Speaking of siege, it's really unfortunate I don't see any hoplites come up because Zeus's god power does give them a 50% buff towards buildings, so it would have been nice to see a few hoplites put in there considering he doesn't have any siege in yet, but we do see that initial wall being challenged right now with the villager repairing it as they do damage. We do see units being able to reinforce that. It's not going to fall, so not very an effective use of time on the behalf of Somero, but, you know, we'll see how he plans to respond.
And what a Giga Chad villager, honestly, seeing an army of infantry outside of the base and just saying, nah, I'm gonna go ahead and keep repairing this. I'm not worried about you guys. One villager takes on 5 Herser pretty easily there. Like to see that.
Hold the wall!
Yeah, he's holding the wall. And here comes the siege, but can we take this hill fort down with just infantry and Manticores? I don't think so. I think he's gonna have to back out of this. This does not seem like a fight that he wants to take.
Without any hoplites on the map, I think this is a complete waste of time on his decision without any siege or hoplites. We do see the fortress coming out, so we might see an effective use of some catapults here pretty soon, which is a good siege unit. It's probably one of the only siege units that I think is worth building.
Oh, but Somero's onto it. He knows this is coming up. He's going to do everything he can to stop that fortress from coming up. We'll see if he's got time, but those villagers, it looks like they're coming up. I don't know what it means, but Lord Dowd is smiling upon us. Shout out Aussie Drongo for explaining that one to me, but look at that. Flaming weapons coming out.
Right now, flaming weapons coming out. Ceasefire is placed very efficiently right now to buy him some time to reposition. We see the Norse army repositioning back, ready to attack as soon as the ceasefire comes down, building effective effectively a hill fort in the middle of his top town center because of the ceasefire. This is one of the big drawdowns of ceasefire. You were giving him the free will to put this in your base without you having any response to it. Are you going to be able to match it once this hill fort comes up?
And
what is your response?
That's why I got to say why I don't think ceasefire is that good. We still have 15 seconds full on the flaming weapons after this ends. We've got the hill fort in the base now, and this is why I just don't think ceasefire is that great of a god of power anymore. Did this really help much? This fortress is going down. There's nothing Matreiuss is going to be able to do to stop this. So it does delay the inevitable, but that's about it. You just delay it from 30 seconds. These villagers and units are going to go down. We got the hill fort in the base, and again, no siege. Nothing can take this down. We've got units attacking it, but it's going to take a while for him to take down this hill fort, and this is an aggressive assault that we have here.
Right now, we have Matreiuss focusing fully on the hill fort, putting massive damage out towards it, but is it going to fall down yet? Now we see units going back in towards the Norse mass, effectively trading right now, but it looks like right now, actually, Matreiuss is going to be able to get that hill fort down and also take an effective trade, knocking down multiple units. It is close to being even right now, but you do see villagers starting to get attacked on the back end of this fight. Now, however, the battle board gets 2 effective knockouts, launching some of these units back, yet still, it looks like Somero is actually getting the weaker end of this trade. In the back line, we see more units fall. It is effectively a fight right on top of the town center, but you see his army collapsing right now, and I wonder what the response is going to be, because you are fully committing right now. Units are trickling in, and a battering ram comes through right now. However, the front line is starting to push it back. We see Somero realizes he lost the fight. He is pushing back effectively.
Yeah, and I gotta say, battering ram just a bit too late, right? If we had battering rams out during that engage, we maybe could have taken down some production buildings, maybe even the town center with 2 battle boars and a couple battering rams, but now we see Matreiuss taking the aggressive again. Oh, the battle boar, great kick. And we do see the hoplite out now, right? So we do actually have some damage available on this hill fort. This is going to be close if this goes down. Losing the mass doesn't look like he's going to be able to take it. Battering rams coming out, going out, and it looks like everyone's going to back off here. But something we didn't notice on the other side of this, 3rd TC coming up inside of the middle of the map.
TC. And you know what? I really like the position Matreiuss is in right now because he's effectively able to stop the northern push on his 2nd TC while getting a 3rd up, building fortresses in between that 3rd town center in his original base to be able to take control of the southern part of the map. If we can go to full screen, Matt, I'd love to see the response. No, we do not have any buildings or anything in the southern part of the map right now from Somero, so this is effectively going to help him scale even further while he's able to hold off the dwarven armies in the north.
Yeah, and we do see a response. Maybe? Oh, it looks like that's the downside of selecting all military. That's definitely what happened there. We had Somero select all military, so they got off that TC, but another engage coming in.
Another engage, and we see that he's going to start pushing those units in, looking to take that fight. And those, right now, those Manticores are getting good value off of the first initial attacks. The mass is sticking together. We see it. It's a dead even battle right in. Let's zoom in on the front line. See which of these units are going to stay alive, which are going to die. The battle board knocks them back. We see them wrapping around the back of the northern end of the map. And right now, it looks like we see Somero being able to take a massive army out, a chunk, and it looks like a full wipe on his part. It looks like a bad engage.
And not to interrupt, but we do see him find the other TC here as well. I don't think these units are going to be able to take it, though. I don't know, maybe these Thor Berserk are incredibly tanky, so we kind of got 2 fights going as once, but it looks like he's just throwing these units away, to be honest. I don't think these are going to be able to take down that TC.
Those upgrades do show how tanky they can get, though, once you get them up to a little bit higher level.
Yeah.
Effective use to be able to split the attention across the map while you're in the middle of a fight, perhaps, to where you draw away Matreiuss' attention from the main line, but really good effective fight. I think that was a good way to get yourself back in the game, establish a presence in the north, take a win, wipe out his mass, and refocus your efforts on another part.
And I gotta say, I love this unit composition that we're seeing out of Somero. We've got the Huskarl with that incredible pierce resistance to take on the Manticore and the Toxtos. We even see our Goaty coming out, right? Coming out here for the ranged hero units because we do see the Manticore masses, but it looks like he said, nope, you're not going to keep this 3rd town center. We're going to come in here. We're going to try and take this out. Villagers desperately trying to rebuild this TC while the engage comes in. Underworld Passage used.
Underworld Passage used, and this is a really poor use of the villagers if this is not an Underworld Passage to effectively respond, and it looks like it is. You see units coming through the Underworld Passage directly to respond towards the aggression on the town center. They're a little late, a little too late from the looks of it. It might fall still, but they're taking the engage. Let's see if they're able to win. Villagers still repairing. We see units being pushed back, and oh, and Somero is recommitting to the fight, not the town center. It looks like this town center is going to stay while villagers work around the repairs. And up in the north, we do not have anything worth looking at. We look back to the fight, and Samaria is able to wipe out a mass of these units, but more and more units are coming out of the Underworld Passage. Effective use so far to keep it alive for as long as it is. It does look like that TC is about to fall, which it does. Let's see if he's able to win the fight at least.
Yeah, and I did pan down here because we did spot out this TC being built. Looks like he stopped that TC from getting up. A lot of health taken out of it, but it's still sitting at about 75% complete. So maybe just pull a couple of units here from Somero to try and get that TC up. But this fight is crazy. He's building a TC right in his face. He says, "This is not your base. This is my base."
And yes, I mean, he won the fight. It's his land by all rights. You don't win in the north twice. You lose a couple fights. Guess what? You go to the south, and victory will be found. So hats off to you for picking the right engagement.
Yeah, pretty baller to just start plopping down that TC right in their face, but it looks like he has the army to support it. A little bit of a counterattack here going as well, raiding down the gold, but we do see the siege finally coming out. Catapult looking to take down the hill fort. It is taken out by this counter raid, and this is a dicey fight over here. I don't know if they're going to get this up. It looks like he's got the mess. These hero units are doing a ton of damage here, taking out all the army. Really, actually quite effective. We don't see these a lot from Norse players, but it looks like they're doing a great job. This TC is going to go up. He's got it, and now this is suddenly his territory.
Without any horsemen to be able to effectively counter that Norse hero unit, we're going to see him struggle to be able to counter that villager mass, that military mass that he's established. And we do see another engagement in the south while he's getting raided in the north. It looks like he actually might lose control of his Underworld Passage. The only thing holding him together is the fortress, with these units trickling in to be able to counter what he has going on. Two fights at once going on. It looks like he is going to be able to hold himself together for the most part, but that town center is up, so what are you really benefiting in the long term? You're just fighting mass against mass right now without really necessarily building anything up. So hold your Underworld Passage, but you've already lost quite a bit.
Yeah, and we see the Petrobolos.
The town center. Yeah.
He's taking it out.
Directly beating out that town center as the fight continues. The battle board moves in. We see a special that was not used effectively, unfortunately. Wasn't able to knock anything too crazy back. It looks like we do have a mass forming from Matreiuss here on the south side that is holding effectively against it. It looks like you're just playing at a lower elo where one unit by one unit fights. You're not willing to say, I fucked up. You are going to go the whole way through.
Yeah.
See who wins. You get out.
And we've got just skirmishes on both ways, just setting every unit into the fight. I do agree with you. I feel like maybe we need to regroup and get a bigger army. I've never seen a position like this, TC in between two fortresses with the underworld position. This is a really interesting skirmish. I have no idea where this is going to go, who's going to come out on top of this one.
I think the king of the north is the Greeks and the southerners, the Norse, ironically, are holding the south right now. But they are about to lose the south as well. It looks like we're getting an effective retreat on Samaria's part as he realizes he is not going to be able to effectively lose. Keep in mind, he does have that third TC about to go up if he decides to send in the units to actually build it instead of trickling them into the fight one by one. Let's take a look at the north side real quick as they take an engagement.
Yeah, a lot of battering rams. Good call.
Yeah, a lot of battering rams moving into the fortress, and it doesn't look like he's ready to establish any counter towards this, as the heroes will be taking out any infantry that are focused on him, and the fortress does go down, as we see the battering rams positioning towards other places, including the town center and the fortress in the north. I wonder what your response is going to be, Matreiuss.
Yeah, no units here to take. You got to pull these villagers. Yeah, and finally does pull the villagers to try and take out these battering rams. Great call there to get the villagers out. Doesn't actually take them down, and it looks like Somero is actually taking the advantage here. But what we don't know is what's going on the south side of the map. You know, what sort of army is down there that's going to start attacking on Somero's southern base. But it looks like this northern base is going out. And what I'm starting to wonder is, where's the gold? It looks like we're running out of gold here for both civs. Gold mines down, no traders coming out quite yet. This gold's not available. There's no villagers out on there in this base. Oh, he's even pulling the dwarfs right in the face of his opponent to start taking this gold. I love that move.
Man, Somero, you are an aggressive player, and I love to cast your aggression. This is bad shit crazy the way you are playing, but in a good way. The units are pushing into the base on the northern side as they're effectively taking out villagers. Yet on the southern side, we see effectively siege, and a couple of units put pressure on the south. Let's see if he's able to get any more as the north continues to go in the favor of the Norse player. He's willing to take this trade as a ceasefire comes down.
I don't know how I feel about that ceasefire because we're doing so much damage down here. But, Jay, let's take a quick breather because this game is action-packed, man. This has been crazy.
You know, as I recover my voice, let's talk about how another hill fort is getting up. He did not learn his lesson. This is, you know, as George Bush once said, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, you can't
Can't get fooled again. But he does get
Looks
fooled
like
again.
he didn't look. He got fooled again.
He got fooled again.
False gold.
Oh man, what a quote. Oh, we do see the catapults switching sides here. Here's the I don't know, but yep, they're going right back.
And he finally puts some units towards that underworld passage to be able to take it down. But the catapults come out again. It doesn't look like he's going to respond to taking them down. Oh, no.
What are we doing?
Back out, back in, back out, back in, back out.
Oh my god. I don't know this TC's going down though. I think there's enough units here to keep this alive. The hill fort doing damage, but we only have one battering ram left and it's just wailing on Odysseus right now. Coming in, more battering rams coming in for the TC. It's looking pretty good for Somero right now.
To wonder why these units aren't attacking those 4 villages in the back line. Oh, and it looks like he read my mind because they were starting to do that are propelling the town center to stay alive right now. It looks like it might actually fall if the villagers are pushed off. Oh, nope, they just go up to the north, but east to this side. You know, this is a very mixed fight. I'm not even gonna go insane about it. Like, oh, put catapults, take down the hill fort, which is a big win. You better get those back through the underworld passage before those cavalry start running you down. Let's see if you can hold this town center. You cannot. It falls. Unfortunately, it looks like both sides are getting small wins. No one's really thinking to take this battle in the north, but Somero does have more units out in this area right now. And with those villagers not able to do anything effectively, you have to wonder, are you going to surrender the north? Are you going to focus your attention in the south? And it looks like that's exactly what he's doing, putting fortresses down. But at the same time, they're going to start going into your economy here pretty quickly and take out all of this production that you have placed and invested in the north. Battering rams are just moving in. That underworld passage is soon to follow next. Where's your army?
And I gotta call out at this point. I don't know if he's realized it yet, but Somero just hit enough favor for another flaming weapons. I would like to see that drop with this aggression. You can do so much more damage if you get that flaming weapons out. Huge boost to your damage. So as soon as he realizes he's got that 250 stacked up.
Go to the south. We have units going in directly to Somero's base right now too, on the side of the Greeks, and they are moving into the hill fort right now. Let's see if he has siege, and he does. He is pushing in, trying to effectively create a base race type of scenario. He realizes the north is not where he has a win condition. He moves to the south. He should take over the Sealing Screen if he can and be able to do. Oh, and it looks like flaming weapons is cast up in the north as the units are being challenged in the north. Let's go up to the north real quick, Matt.
Oh, and that's game.
Somero wins it.
He calls it. Man, that is the craziest game by far that we have cast. That was all over the place, man. Well done. Well done to you, Jay.
I need a beer. I need a beer after that one.
I agree with you, man. That was absolutely wild. Yep, in the flaming weapons, I called it out. We had just enough favor. It just took, a couple more favor to realize it for Somero here. But once he cast that flaming weapon, suddenly these units are so strong. I did like the villager conversion here. He converted all of his farmers to berserk. Said, if I just get 10 of these guys out, I can take out these Petrobolos, and then we can stop this assault. And we look at the main base of Matreiuss here, and it's in complete shambles. Man, what a game.
That was my favorite game to cast out of all the ones we've done so far. Such high-stakes actions on two sides of the map where both players are effectively answering by god powers, by units, by countering siege against one side or the other. Effective use of multiple god powers outside of ceasefire. I think there were very poor uses of ceasefire on the behalf of Matreiuss, but, I mean, hats off. Such an entertaining game. I think that was by far the best one we've looked at so far.
Yeah, I completely agree. That was super exciting. The underworld passage, dropping in the catapults, in and out, just about everything there was just incredible. That what a great matchup. You could tell both players, they had committed so much to this game. They weren't willing to lose it. They were going to fight to the bitter end. But once this got broken, only one town center left here, and the economy is taken over. And I think the big thing here is just running out of resources, no food, and once these farms are no longer able to produce units, just running low on food, not enough units that can get out, and just a great game. I'm in awe. I'm nowhere near as good as any of these players. That was spectacular.
The only thing I would say is I would have loved to see Matreiuss try to commit a little bit more defense towards his northern town center and his fortresses and his main base, because as soon as those two fell, he effectively gave up on the north altogether and focused his efforts on a base race in the south, which isn't the wrong call in my opinion. However, in that case, you have to have something to slow down that push directly in your main town center, because you're not going to be able to respond with just a few siege catapults.
Yeah. Completely agree. And very interesting. Neither player opting for a mythic age. I don't think either felt they had the ability to stock up that 2,000 resources and forego units. I was kind of expecting a Ragnarok to come through at some point, but right decision at the end of the day over here by Somero to just keep putting the aggression on, keep getting rams out, keep pushing down the base. Man, what a game! What a game!
That was a fun one.
Yeah, well, we're going to leave it there. I think we need to get our beers. I think we need to take a break, and we'll come back and we'll see everyone in the next one. Thanks for watching.